Good morning, Philippines. Here's the plan. It's day 4 of our build, the beginning of the second work week. Obviously the first work week was very short. Today there is more digging as the weather has improved, more cutting and bending steel, but the more exciting thing, at least for us, is they're starting working on the perimeter fence. That's where some of the focus will be today. So a little bit more going on, hopefully a few more different things to capture. What could possibly go wrong? So it's just after 7:30. Actually, it's almost 7:50. The guys have been going since around 7 o'clock in the morning. Had their morning meeting and discussion with the architect slash builder, along with 2 of the engineers this morning. And we have a bigger crew. I believe it's 14 altogether. So this is team 1 working on more digging holes. But over here, as you can see, we have the small concrete mixer moved into position. Oh, this is about to get very noisy, if it works. But that's exciting. That means concrete. So we'll see how this team gets on during the course of the day, with or without a working concrete mixer. We'll be back. Team 2. Sorry, this is going to be a little bit noisy. We're right by the road, and the concept of silencers on vehicles here is apparently quite alien, at least for some vehicles. But these are the guys, along with a couple more further along out of sight, who are working on the perimeter wall, the perimeter fence. There will be a column every 3 meters. The wall, if I remember correctly, will be 2.5 meters high, and we're still considering what to put on top of that to make it as secure as possible. That might be some kind of steel wire. It might be an electric fence if the barangay will allow us. But we want to make this as secure as possible. There will be other security measures along the way. That will include lots of motion detection and what else will we have? There'll be lights that are triggered with motion. There will be possibly, I'm thinking, alligators. We'll train some alligators. If anybody knows a alligator wrangler, please drop a comment in the comment section below. Let me know how to get in touch. Don't really want to be consumed by our own alligators. It might be snakes. Thinking of snakes. There could be other things that we bring into the frame. Again, any suggestions other than alligators and snakes? Geese, I'm told, are not quite as horrific to face, but very noisy and very good security guards. And of course, dogs. It's the Philippines. There's lots of dogs. Anyway, that's team 2, working on phase 1 of security for the property. And team 3 doing rebar, and actually behind the bunkhouse there's more guys cutting wood. That's the first time I've seen that in this build, and hammering nails into corrugated roof. Not quite sure what both of those things are for yet, but we'll try and find out as the day goes on. Hopefully the microphone can pick up my voice given the noise of what's going on around, but hey, that's a building site, it's noisy. So forgive me if you can't make this out quite as clearly as some of the other bits, or maybe you thank me that you can't hear my voice. So, more steel being put together, more steel being cut, and I'm sure it'll be being shaped and tied together as the day progresses. That's team 3. We'll be back. Here's what happens after 2 days of pretty non-stop rain. Having said on day 1 that this ground appears to drain very, very well, they're having to manually just pull out a load of water from the holes for the column. I guess that's going to be a slightly slow process, although as always these guys put everything into it. They're very efficient. So out of there, into there. No idea if that water gets used for anything else. I would think probably not, but we'll maybe find out. And here's the concrete mixer, which is still silent for the moment. Hopefully we'll get lots of noise and activity from that later on. So it's just after the mid-morning break, and here's a change which I'm sure Ariel down in the hole is very relieved about. We have this noise. We have a pump, so that'll help clear out the water, hopefully make life of digging a little easier. Still have a few guys out here. It's getting hot. Still no sign of the cement mixer firing up, but I might have missed that while I was away for a little while. And we seem to have more and more in team 2, which is quite smart because it's getting hot and they're over in the shade. We'll go and have a closer look. So in the 5 seconds it took me to walk over here, half of them wandered away. Camera shy maybe. Some of these guys are not camera shy, and the pile of steel, whether it's still in non-shaped form or in shaped form or in form being cut, is growing and growing. So they really are getting ready to start putting footings and columns in place, but I'm still not convinced that will be today, but we'll see how we go. Again, sorry for the noise. Building site. So I talked about security, and one of the things we've decided is we're going to train the other beasts here. So this will soon be one of our killer cows. Look out for this one. She is going to be vicious. Haven't got a name for her yet. Maybe we'll just call her Vicious. So, team 3 is going to be hard to see, and I'm not going to walk down there and count out loud, but I've done that already, so take my word for it. We now have 14 holes dug for the columns for this side of the wall. Oh, you've got to be excited. Come on, 14. That's where we've got to so far. By the end of the day, we'll see what we've got. Here we have the second not yet trained cow. Can't really call her Vicious 2, so we'll call her 2 Vicious. In fact, you can see, even though she's not trained yet, we have to keep her tied up because goodness knows what she might do to passers-by. So if you're one of those naughty burglar types, be aware. 2 Vicious is right here. And the excitement just grows and grows. Tom Cruise, eat your heart out, this is all action. So we have the first woodwork. I'm not sure if this is for a column or if this is a swimming pool. Right now it's a swimming pool. Might need a little bit of chlorine in that, but we'll see how we go. But woodwork, another first for today. What more can you ask? So, just to introduce the third member of our security detail, our future security detail. Given the names of the other 2 so far as Vicious and 2 Vicious, and given that this is the fella, it's of course his name is Sid. Probably just lost all the kids with that one. If you don't know who Sid is, look up the Sex Pistols. Band from the, what, 70s? Yeah, I guess so. And here's the 4th and final member of the future security detail. Now, I've been quite selfish so far and I've named 3, so in the comments below, suggestions for this rare beauty, this possibly very violent, vicious, burglar-killing rare beauty. Name suggestions in the comments. We'll pick the best one. So here we go. We're 15 minutes before the afternoon break. So these guys have still got quite a long way to go. After the break, they've still got another hour and a quarter to keep going. So we have what is starting to look a bit more like one big hole with little bits of grass in between. More and more holes, and more holes full of water. So the pumping is going to be going on for a long time, I think, because the pump seems to clear the water quite slowly. But they'll figure it out. They'll get there. There is a little bit of cloud cover, which is, I guess, helping a little, but again, I tried today to do a little bit of stuff in the garden, and I'm an old, fat, unfit bloke, but I lasted about 45 minutes before I was out on my feet. So, as always, hats off to these guys. They amaze me every day. Right, we'll go and see where Team 2 and Team 3 are. The rebar for the footings and are designed to basically keep the rebar out of the dirt. There'll be gravel laid along with these little cakes, and that will elevate the rebar a little bit. And here, more columns being put together. Again, for the structure, for the highly pressured columns, they're using 8 16mm rebar on the vertical. And what they will do, or are doing, is towards the base, they add additional, I think these are stirrups, the ones that go around. So they add more at the base where the pressure is greatest. And over here, we have what, to my very uneducated eye, is a beam, not a column. And I've seen a few of those being put together today. Along with a little bit more woodworking for, I'm guessing, forms. And the ties being cut to length over there. So that's Team 2. So here's Team 3. And they're basically laying out the columns for the security wall. And this is how you bend rebar. Piece of pipe, brute strength, technique, off you go. So I'm not sure yet how many holes we have dug down this side. As far as I can see, up to the remains of that building, there's about 20 down this side. I'll have to try and calculate how many there should be given the 3-meter gap. I'll work that out later. Let's go and have a quick look around the other side at the remainder of Team 3. So I just had a quick look down this side of the perimeter, and there's actually the holes dug out, at least partially dug out, right down to that last pile of concrete hollow blocks. So altogether there's around about 30 of these holes have been dug out now. They can't use mechanical diggers just here because of these trees, which we're hoping to retain. I'm sure we can. Well, the architects have told me we can. So this side is progressing really well. So the final bell has rung for the day. Mostly they've headed out. Ariel's still here, tidying up. So it was a day of more hole digging, deeper hole digging, and trying to pump quite a lot of water out of these holes. So although I said on day one that it looked like this land drained very well, there are clearly limits to that drainage. Let's just see. And yeah, there's still water in there. So it's hard going, even with a pump. But they'll get there. And we're not putting massive time pressure on the builder. We want to get it right, not do it fast. So only a few fellas left, the engineer, and mostly the rest have gone. Lots and lots more steel, and there's a load more over here, all laid out ready to go into the holes for the columns on the perimeter fence. So, day 4. It's a wrap. I see a hard hat. I didn't see anybody wearing it today, but that's to be expected. Elfin safety is something that the architect would like to promote, but these guys have their ways. And right now, when they're predominantly digging trenches, digging holes, the hard hats are not quite such a necessity. We'll see what happens later on in the build. Okay, so tonight, it's a wrap.